Warning: this podcast has adult content, foul language, alcohol use, and sexual content, not suitable for children. This is the Tales of a Small Town Bartender podcast, for entertainment purposes only. Never attempt reenactments. This is the Tales of a Small Town Bartender podcast, and I'm your host, Tony, and tonight we have a special guest, Eddie. Say hi, Eddie.
What's up? Hello.
Hello. You're awful calm.
What are you going to do out here?
I can tell you have not been drinking.
That is a fact.
So I wanted to bring Eddie on because Eddie's not a bartender. He's a patron of the bar that I work at, one of my regulars. And there have been so many stories so many incidents, I should say, that have happened when he was there, that he can tell these stories better than me, right?
A lot of silly stuff. Stuff happening over there.
But the one in particular that I wanted to talk about was, what was it, maybe 3 months ago, maybe? There was a guy that came in a poncho and a hat. He had like a sombrero. It was like a sombrero, right? Yeah. A sombrero and a poncho. Big dude. Came in with another guy, and they were just strange. It was a strange night.
It definitely was a strange night.
Yeah. And he was about to leave. He was going to go home, and these dudes came in, and he's like, oh, I can't go home. Now, Eddie's one of the people that if somebody weirds at the bar, I tell him he's not leaving. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's been the case many occasions, especially lately. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but
it has been weird. A lot lately. It's so weird. I was
maybe it's because the juniors thing closing, well, not really closing, falling down.
Maybe it is. I didn't even think about that. Oh, it's their fault.
That in the brewery.
Yes, yep. Both of them happened.
So we're just getting the weirdos.
Yeah, we're getting the weirdos. That is for sure. So tell them in your words about this dude and how you were sitting in between them.
Yeah, I was, when I come up to the bar, I usually take somebody's seat by accident. I just kind of jump in the seat that's right there. Even if I'm not sitting down, I'm just standing there. And that guy with the sombrero, man, he was a different type of character. He just was saying weird stuff the whole time. And it wasn't cold out. The guy had a full-blown, heavy, like straight out of Mexico, across the border, like poncho heavy thing on with a huge sombrero. And it's at nighttime. I don't know, like the sun wasn't beaming on his head or nothing. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, it was like June, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
May. Yeah, it was warm out though.
Yeah. They were going in on weird conversations, and he started telling a story about how he killed people.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I didn't hear that because I was busy.
We're like looking around like, what are we talking about now? And I think it started with his buddy saying something about jail, and then something going on with fights or something in there, and then he was like, yeah, I killed people. Have you ever killed people? I'm like, well, what are we talking about? Nobody said prison. Talking about jail and his buddy with some type of fight or something in there, and then he just went right to I've killed people. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It's gonna be a fun one.
And then he showed me pictures of his daughter, like some innocent little, like, what the hell? See, I didn't hear that conversation. You guys told me that afterwards. But he was totally different with me. He was showing me pictures of his daughter and, acting like he was all this innocent, dad. And I don't even know.
And I don't even remember some of the conversation being a little, you know, drunk myself. But I remember he said something else, like it basically some innocent type thing. It was a whole nother story on a whole different level. And then he kind of went back towards the killing thing and said something opposite and contradicted himself. And we were all just looking at each other like, the hell is this guy talking about right now? First it was this, now it's this. I don't even know the guy's name. I just call him Sombrero Man.
Yeah, I didn't know his name either. They did come back in a second time when I was working.
I did see them one other time too. I don't know if that
Yeah,
was the time we were there or not, but I did remember seeing him one other time, and I was like, "Oh, okay." He didn't have the sombrero on
no,
or the poncho, so I don't know.
because it was
It
even
wasn't near
hotter out.
Halloween either.
That was probably July when that happened, when they came back. So it was very warm out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe he realized it probably wasn't the right thing to wear at that time of year.
So so why don't you chime in about the guy, the Jedi, the time
Man.
traveling Jedi?
That guy. He was something else.
Yeah.
It probably the weirdest thing. I don't know. So many things, but probably the weirdest thing I've been a part of at that bar. It's I walk in, I had to, my hat's back to the side. I come in, and as soon as I come in, he just goes, yeah, come here, man, yeah, like, I love you, man. So glad you came in, and I just kept thinking maybe I know the guy. I have no fucking clue. I didn't think I recognized him, but I
And
don't
that's what
know.
I
Maybe I
said.
was drunk
Now
one
you're
night.
not leaving. That's what,
Yes. He brings me in and gives me the bro hug, and he's like, "I feel at home now. I feel at home." And I'm like, oh, great. That's amazing. All right, here we are. All right. And he's like, I feel you, man. I see you. Like, yeah. Like you read me, like you see me, And I'm like, yeah, sure. All right. And
and then
then
he wanted who was it, Steve, or I guess I shouldn't say names. He wanted them to teach him how to play pool.
yeah. That happened. That had happened right before I came in.
Yes.
You had said that how he was asking them in the back to play pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just finished up playing. Our team did. So when we came back in, and we came in just to have a drink and head out, he was, saying he wanted to play for $400.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So, my brother looks at me and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. $400. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, let me go to the ATM. Okay, do it
Yeah,
up, buddy.
he had already gone to the ATM a couple times, so
yeah. So he wound up only being able to pull out the 100, and I'm like, okay, 100 it is. Let's go. And I told him he had to break. So then it took like 8 minutes from the break because he kept telling me like I could see him, and I knew what he was thinking, and yeah, and then he would do these weird twitches and tweaks and And you're like, what the fuck? This guy is crazy right now.
you sounded just like him.
Yeah, I feel like him right now. I'm doing the whole eye twitching thing right now. I know you can't see it and stuff, but he's twitching his eye. He kept biting his lip, and he bit his finger. That's what he kept doing, putting his knuckle in his mouth and like chomping down his knuckle. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a character.
He broke. Yeah, he broke, and then it was an 8-minute long conversation about something else.
I know. I kept interrupting you guys and saying, "Keep shooting! Stop delaying the game."
I was so happy when you said it because it helped for the second or two. And then once he thought about something else to tell me about, oh, I know you see me. I know you see everything in my mind right now. I feel you. I could feel you. I would do things. I would do things. I would do things for you, man. That's what I would do. I would do things. I'm just looking around like, hey, somebody better tell this guy something because it's not going to be a fun night.
I didn't hear what he was saying to you.
Yeah, he just kept saying like the same type of thing, but he kept getting closer to the insinuation of he would perform sexual favors for me.
Hmm.
You know, that's not a thing that I'm gonna be involved in. It's
Yeah,
not a thing
no.
I like another dude even telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are who you are, and it is what it is. I just leave me out of it. I'm good. I don't want a part of that.
Yeah.
And then he asked me to come outside for some reason. I don't remember what it was. Asked me to come
Oh,
outside.
he went out to smoke.
Yeah, but I don't smoke, so he asked me for some reason to come outside for something, and I was like, all right, okay, I want to show you something. No, I got something to tell you. That's what he said. I got something to tell you. I got something to tell you. I'm like,
Yeah. He
okay,
had to
man.
bring you outside to
Well,
tell you.
yeah. And then outside, uh he crumbles up stuff to go put it inside of something, and then he gives me like a dollar bill or $5 bill. He's like, here, hold this. I got nothing to put this on. I'm like, bro, you got the whole table. What are you talking about right now? He's like, touch it, just hold it right here. I'm like, okay. So he starts crumbling up stuff, puts it back in his pocket, and then starts telling me, how well do you know that guy in the back? And I'm like, he's like, that's your friend? I'm like, yeah, he's acquaintance, friendly. We don't hang out outside of here or anything like that. See him here, whatever. Why? What's up? I don't want to lead on anything into too much or whatever. I am with somebody in the bar in case somebody has a situation, and at least I could figure out what's going on and then, go from there. So I wasn't going to say,
Yeah.
yeah, he's my best friend. I wasn't going to say, no, I hate him. I want him to tell me what he's, trying to get to.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, how well do you know him? I'm like, if I know him, I don't know much about him. What's up? He's got a wife and kids. I'm like, no, nope, didn't know that. Didn't know. I did not think he was. No, 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 no. I know his girlfriend, and I know that she's like young like him, and they've been together for a while. So wife, kids, no, no. Yeah, yeah, man. Two things in this world. I'm like, okay, that I'm just all in about. Taking care of that girl and the kids, and Jesus, God up there, man. God, me and him. There's a
Yeah.
verse. There's a verse in the Bible. Verse in the Bible, and it says, hey, but how well do you know him? And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know what it said either. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, see, that's why
And
I
then
didn't
he's
get
like,
into that conversation because that was outside.
yeah. And then he went into the, hey man, you're a Jedi. You're a Jedi, man. I'm like, oh, I don't know
He
what
thought I
that
was
means
too.
exactly. Yeah. Well, everybody's a fucking Jedi. I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm just like, this guy he's messed up right now, man. And
Hmm.
it's the people you got to worry about because you never know, one little comment or something could set somebody off.
Hmm.
And it's the first time he's been in the bar. So nobody knows anything about the guy. Or I guess he's been in before, but nobody there has seen him. I
No,
never seen him.
he was there. He just was quiet and he left after 2 drinks.
Yeah. And then today he's hopping around and biting his finger and telling me he wants to perform sexual favors on me.
Mm.
Told all of us in the bar we're Jedis. And then he kept like making other insinuations about the guy's kids, which he doesn't have because he doesn't have any kids, so they're fake kids. Or he just mistook him for another guy, or it's just some weird concocted story he just made up in his mind because of all the drugs he was on or something.
I don't know.
And he kept insinuating things about the kids. So he's like, you know what I'm getting at? You know what I'm getting at? And then the only thing I just stared at him and I was thinking, maybe he's a sex offender. That's the only thing he was insinuating was towards like stuff with the kids. And I'm like, either
Mm.
way, I don't really want to be around this dude anymore. So
Yeah.
my brother came out, and then I just made my way back in. And then that's when I was telling everybody in the back, like, hey guys, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to figure something out. And nobody leaving, but we gotta watch this guy because he's sketchy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we got your back, man. We got your back. I'm like, nah, you don't understand the shit I just went through with this guy talking about kids and I'm a Jedi and he wants to suck me off. And I don't know, man. I'm good. It's gonna be a weird one. I want to get
Yeah.
him out of here as soon as we can. As soon as we
When
can.
when I had gone in the back earlier and before you got there and told them that they weren't leaving the bar because when he told me that I smelled good and that he would always remember the way I smelled, that freaked me out. And I went right into the back and I said, "You are not leaving this bar." And he said, "Okay, I got you."
It's a
Like this
weird
guy's
thing, man.
planning to kill me or something.
And then he said about my brother, like, I can look at you, man. I see you've killed people before. He's like, you're that guy. You're that guy. Like I could tell, man. I could just look at you. Like,
He said that.
okay.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I'm like, all right. Here we go. Another, poncho man where he kills people now. This guy just
Hmm.
he's saying that my brother kills people. So I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then I just was like, all right, we got to get this guy out of here. And then he mentioned that book thing, a book of names or something,
Book of birthdays.
book of birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of trying to get out of him things, and he was like, yeah, I could get it, man. I don't live far from here. And I was like, oh, well, how far do you live? He's like, I could run there. Huh? Where are you running to? Uh, Not even that far, up 2 lights or whatever. Yeah, right. I don't believe you. I don't think you could run there. You can't run there. No. Go ahead. Do it then. Do it. Yeah, I'll bet you can't run there. But by the time your ass gets back, this shit gonna be closed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when he went out to his car for something and he moved that shit to the back, that was the weird thing for me. And I was like, yo, I'm like,
Yeah.
be careful. And that's when I said to my brother, hey, just look at him, check him out, see if he's holding, see if he's carrying anything. Because if he is, we need to know right away because we're going to have to figure something out. We're just going to have to do something, act real fast because I don't think he was carrying before. Wasn't obvious. So I said, hey, just be careful because nobody goes out, takes their car after being here hours, moves the car towards the back a little bit. And if you're trying to hide or whatever from somebody or, maybe a girl or some shit, but he wasn't like that. So it was just weird
Yeah.
that he did that after hours of being there.
Could you imagine if the last three weirdos that have been in there recently, if all three of them were there at the same time?
I think they would have been sucking each other off while wearing each other's sombrero while somebody was trying to stab somebody.
I don't know. That would be crazy. Thank God that they come one at a time. You know what I mean?
No, we can't handle two of those there, man. It's not that type of bar for that.
No.
You go to the bigger bars, there's a bunch of weirdos in there, and you might not know that there's a weirdo in there. I mean, you just assume because there's that many people, but you don't really get to know everybody like that. We're in the little dive bar, everybody there, and everybody can
Yeah.
hear what you're saying. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like a family, even if you're new there, it is what it is. He was on some weird stuff. And that other dude that was all sitting in between people and stuff, and everybody
Yes.
thought each other person knew him.
Yeah,
Oh, he's with you, right?
I thought he was with the other pool team because he sat with them.
Yeah,
And then he went and
that's
sat
what
with
I
you.
figured.
And I said, "Do you
Yeah,
know him?"
I'm like, nah. And the other team's like, oh, you don't know him? I'm like, I don't know who the fuck he is. He sat down next to you guys. I never seen a dude before in my life. They're like, oh my god, we were just being nice to him because we thought like you knew him or something. I'm like, I've never seen this dude before in my life. I don't know what's going on. Like, oh, well, he's been weird. He's been weird and creepy. I'm
Yeah,
like, well, what are you saying?
didn't he also want to play pool for money? I'm
He
pretty sure
wanted
he
to
did.
bet on the game. No, he
Oh,
wanted to
that's
bet
right.
on the game that was being
He wanted
played.
to bet that they. Yeah, I remember. He wanted to bet
Yeah,
$400 on who was going to win the game on the back table.
yeah. Which was funny. I think it was exactly 402, which was weird because that's what the other dude was talking about,
Yeah,
$400.
yeah.
But yeah, and he didn't even know anybody that was back on our teams playing. He was just gonna
No.
take a guess and just assume somebody was gonna beat somebody, which was weird. And then he came over and said to me like, "Oh, I tried to buy this bar.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
oh yeah,
remember
yeah. He offered to him a couple million or some crap. He said, "You think that's a fair offer? 3 mil, 3 mil. You think that's a fair offer for this?" I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the books. I don't know the revenue stuff. I don't know. Yeah, but do you think 3 mil would be a good offer for this? I offered him 3 mil. Oh, that's great, crazy.
He's
I
full
don't
of
know.
crap
Great. What do you
too.
say? Yeah, and then then he just gets up and walks over to the next table and sits down. Like, oh, okay.
Right in between two girls. I know. He's weird.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when he came back in the second time, he's a landlord. He rents an apartment. And the girl at the bar who I had never seen before, you guys knew her, was
Yeah.
he was her landlord. He's like, she goes, that was my landlord. And I was like, Gary? She's like, yeah.
like,
And I'm like,
like the
oh.
crazy guy who's all coked up.
I'm like, well, I'm sorry, he's not allowed in here. She's like, oh no, you're right. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. I'm like, yeah, he's coked out of his mind or something because he's all over the place in here. She's like,
Yeah.
honestly, he was always weird. I didn't know he did those things, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, he's definitely a weird one.
Yeah, that
Who
was
was the
insane.
guy that I had to who I had to take home that night after I wanted to beat him up at the same time?
You took home. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
and the guy kept asking you to dance.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, yeah. He's a little slow. He's a little
He
slow.
was, yeah, he was all right though. He was all right, but then he got a little crazy with certain things.
He,
Oh,
well,
that's right. He was looking at the other
yeah,
guy's wife.
he touched her hair, and he's like, no
Yeah,
touching.
yeah.
He's like, I don't mind you talking to her. Don't touch her.
Gosh, we said 3 weirdos. That's four. That's 4 weirdos
That's
in a
four.
short
That's
time.
four. He came in a few times. That one. Yeah, he's slow. I mean, I feel bad for him because I know he's slow, but
Yeah,
he's very inappropriate and
yeah.
creepy, you know.
Well,
And I
once I
told him I was
heard
married.
the story, yeah, once I heard the story, that's when I was like, okay, we'll figure something out. And I went outside. He was sleeping on the bench.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, you need a ride home? Nah, I gotta go Uber. I'm like, okay, well, they're closed, man. They're closed. So you want to go home? I know you live across the street. Yeah, okay. Like, all right.
yeah.
I'm like,
I
you
mean,
just tell me turn left, right, what house, and we're good.
I feel like he's harmless, but he's just creepy. And I
Yeah,
told him I was
so
married. And then he's like, dance with me. I'm like, no, I'm not dancing with you. No, that's not happening.
certain people just get to certain points and then they're elsewhere. The mind wanders and does crazy stuff. It's probably the
Yeah.
alcohol as well, but you know.
Speaking of crazy people, no, I was going to talk about Michael.
Oh man, Michael, huh?
We haven't had a Michael episode yet. I mean, he's been
That's
on
because
them with
Michael's been
me.
on the episodes.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah. So he finally listened to some episodes because he didn't even listen to any of them until last week. And he said he sounds like Marge Simpson. So now I don't know if he's ever going to come back on again.
That's funny. Tell him that's what we've been having to deal with this whole damn time.
Oh, well, the two that we recorded in that one night when he was losing his voice, that was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it
He
was
was
rough.
on,
That was a rough one.
yeah, he was on medication that was making his throat dry.
Sure, that's not the only thing that was making his throat dry.
Do you remember? Oh, I think we already talked about that with him actually. The night he was outside throwing up from the kimchi. Were you there that night?
Oh
Yeah, you were there,
man,
right?
the kimchi. Yeah, the
Yeah.
kimchi. That was a rough one. I gave him
Oh,
shit for
that
the
was
kimchi every
hilarious.
time he came. Every time he came, I gave him shit about the kimchi.
That was
Because he would bring
hilarious.
a different type of food. He'd bring a different type of food all the time whenever he came in. He would have like
Well,
a
no,
little
he
bit of
didn't bring
something.
that one though. He didn't bring that one. Jen
Yeah.
brought that one.
Yes. But so every time he brought something, I would always say, oh, well, you got that with some kimchi?
Oh
Huh?
yeah,
Want a
he
little
used to bring
kimchi to go
steak.
with that? Yeah.
Oh, he brought that beef tartare that one time, and I had never tried that before because it's just raw beef. I
Right.
mean,
Yep.
I don't like it. I tried it. I tried it. I'll try anything. I did not like it. I won't try it again.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
steak
Now it's rough for
tartare
me.
was,
Yeah, my stuff's got to be cooked.
yeah. I mean, I like it a little red, but not raw.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want you to just cut it off the cow and put it on my plate. I'm good.
Yeah, I can't believe people eat that. He's
Man,
like, oh,
people eat
it's
some
so
weird stuff.
good. He liked it. He's
Yeah.
like, it's so good. You got to try it. No, no, not trying it no more.
He loves raw meat anyway.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. He felt obligated at that point, so now he's all in.
Oh, geez.
Gosh, Michael, there's so many stories, but I don't know. Since everybody now knows who he is, it's hard to talk about those stories. I feel bad.
We've told a couple of the funny ones. Like we had a fight in the bar, and he ran out with the pool stick. Were you there that night? I don't think you were there that
No,
night.
I that was the night I came.
No, you weren't there that night.
I came the next day. You guys told me about it, and I told you, why didn't you call me? Because I was at that point I was super close. I was only 2-3 minutes from the
Yeah,
bar.
yeah.
I would have been able to get there instead of Michael hiding like a
Oh,
freaking
it happened so
vagina
fast.
under the
Yeah,
bar.
there was no other guys there. I remember that, except for the two that were
Yeah.
fighting, because I had to get in the dude's face to get him out of there.
Yeah.
And Michael's outside hiding behind my van with the pool stick in his hand.
Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
even
oh
realize
man.
he was gone. It's so funny. I didn't even realize he was gone. Like I
I
locked
remember
the
when I came
door.
in.
Ugh, it was crazy. He's knocking on the door. Can I come back in? I was like, are you seriously outside with a pool stick in your hand? Seriously.
I remember when I came in, he was like, I wasn't getting involved in that. I'm like, Mike, come on, man. Just because you're you, don't mean you can't put some hands on somebody. Come on, man, break the fight up. But you got the pool stick, smack somebody with it. Break it up. He was not having that.
No, no. I think you might have been there the night my neighbor got in a fight there. Were you there that night? I don't even remember who he got in a fight with. Oh, now I remember. I remember now. I couldn't remember who it was. My old neighbor.
No.
Um, no, you weren't there that night. He only came in the bar like twice the whole time I worked there, and he got in a fight with somebody, one of
I
the
was
pool
only there
players.
for two separate fights. One with the regular, uh, with the other guy with the chewing tobacco, with the dip.
Okay. Yep.
And then I had to be the mediator of that one. They both were trying to get me to jump into that to be on each other's sides because
Yep. I
friends with
remember
them
that.
both. And I'm just like I don't know what's about to happen because they already had some built up frustration with each other for a while, and I just knew it was inevitable, it was gonna happen, and I'm
Yep.
like, well, at this point, I either break it up or I let them fight, and they would just figure it out afterwards.
Well,
So
he's the one that was fighting the other dude, not the chewing
so
tobacco
oh,
guy. The other guy was fighting the
yeah,
big dude that I had to
yes.
get out of there that night. So he's
Was
been in
that
a
the
fight
one?
twice.
Was that the one? Has to be. If that's it's the other dude
Was
and
with his
his
wife.
girl were there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like his nephew or cousin or something, nephew or something that got in a fight with him.
Oh, I don't know. Was it? They were related? I don't know.
Yeah, so if we're talking about the same night, they were like the husband and wife went outside, but the nephew was still in there. And then he was running his mouth and going back and forth, and then I had walked in right as it was finishing up, and the door got pushed right into me as I was opening up the door, and the guy was on the ground, head pushed into the door, and I'm like, what's going on?
Oh wait, I think you're talking about somebody else now. I think I know what
So
you're
that
talking
was a
about now.
different one.
That was more recent,
Yeah,
right?
then yeah, not crazy long ago. And then the guy
Yeah.
came running in afterwards and was like, "Who had a problem with my cousin? He or nephew or whatever it was." He's like,
Yeah.
What happened? Who put hands on him? Who wants to do what? He wants to fight everybody. Now he wants to go back and get a gun and shoot somebody or some crap or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, different guy. I was thinking of somebody a different time that the chewing tobacco guy was gonna fight somebody in the bar. I thought you were there that night, but maybe not. It was somebody else.
Maybe. Oh. I was there for the night where the chewing tobacco was gonna fight the other guy who actually was the first fight we were talking about, where
Yeah.
Michael was hiding.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, there's been a lot of fights apparently. One of these days, we're just gonna say everybody's freaking name so we're not confusing the hell out of people.
I know it's funny. It's, you got to try to limit some of the things you say, and plus you want to bring up old stuff and make people feel some type of way, and then next thing you know, they're back in there wanting to throw hands again, and
yeah,
man, and me and that guy used to just, we used to buy all the Cracker Jacks and get all the stickers
I
out and stick
know.
them all over the bar.
And remember, we used to
Yeah.
buy all the scratch offs out of the machine, like the whole roll.
Oh, man. As soon as we one-on-one, we'd move to the next.
Yeah.
We basically went to
there's
one on
only
every ticket in the
27 tickets.
machine.
Yeah, there's only 27 tickets left. Let's buy them all.
Yeah, that's only 27. We get between us. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah,
let's
we haven't
buy
had
them
a
all.
winner out there yet. Yeah, let's buy them all. Let's do it.
Okay, so we spent $300 and we won back 100, and we were happy.
A couple times we hit pretty decent enough that we were all right. Most times we still put it back in.
Yeah,
But,
we always put it back in. Dumbasses. No.
I know.
Yeah, he doesn't come in anymore.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen him in so long. He got with that girl, and then that was it, and he's just been gone.
Yep.
I seen him while I was working, and I stopped over where he got a little garage warehouse type thing. So I stopped to make him actually say something to me because he was making excuses before about not coming around. So he came and talked to me for a couple minutes. But more lies. Yeah, hey man, I'm gonna come over to the house. We'll do this and blah blah. I was like, oh, if that's what you want to do. I'm like, I didn't ask you to do anything. I was just trying to bullshit with you. If you want to come over and do whatever, whatever. We'll throw some drinks down. We'll go in, whatever.
We used to have fun.
We did. That was a nice long check of fun times.
Yeah. Yep. Remember you dancing?
Had the YouTube video up. Just thought about that with Scotch tape face. You remember that? Were you there that night?
Yes.
And that's when I had glasses. And then we kept taking all the ornaments down that you guys kept yelling at us for touching them and moving them. And then putting them on my face. And then he wrapped my face up with tape all around. And then yanked it off. One nice big yank.
Yep, I was there.
It's back. It's still on YouTube. The kids looked at it the other day. They were looking at all the YouTube videos. My daughter tells me I'm famous because her friends all know me from the one video where I redid that song "Rude." Why you gotta be so rude? Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I made up my own lyrics and freestyled to it real quick, and then that's it. It went all over, and her friends were listening to it. All the kids told all their friends, and then she's like, "Dad, you're so famous." I'm like, "No, I'm not famous at all."
It's funny.
Some of the stuff that goes through these kids' minds with that stuff.
I know, right? I don't know. I think we should be famous. We should.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I just can't believe. Nope, sorry. I just can't believe some of the stuff that actually goes on in the bar. You can't make this stuff up. That happens. I mean, really.
That is a fact. There's just so much stuff. I played pool for my shoes. I lost my shoes.
I remember.
Yep. Walked up into my car and left without my shoes.
I remember.
So Michael, I remember him giving, who did he give the lap dance to for their birthday?
Jen.
Jen, that is right. Gave Jen
Mm-hmm.
the lap dance for her birthday. I remember that. That was a fun time. Then the other guy was there and he was unimpressed by Michael's moves.
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be a slapping match or something.
No, God. That
Every
would have
time
been
they go
funny.
at it, it's funny. Every time they go at it, it's funny though.
They clash. Those
Yes.
two. They
Yep.
definitely clash.
It becomes a
You,
fun conversation. That's the whole thing. Because no matter what anyone says about each one, it's this at that time because they're both there. The other one gets offended, and then it's like a whole spiel now.
yeah. Were you there the night? I think you were. I'm pretty sure you were. You're always there when I have fights there. You were there. You were there. Um, Sitting at the bar, and dude walks in and says that, I don't know if I should say it on here. No.
Ah,
You know what I'm talking about. So it was talking about his mom. I'm pretty sure
oh
you were
my
there.
god, that was the big one for me. That was the biggest one I was involved in.
Oh
The
yeah.
biggest one I was involved in. Yeah, because okay. So this is actually a crazy story because I was in the middle of the whole entire thing, except for like the first 2 minutes, and it went on for a long time.
Yeah, I had the 2 minutes.
I was
That
in,
was me.
yeah, I was in the back, and then once everybody was saying like, "Oh, he's going crazy up there. Shit's about to go down," and he's always known for starting shit, so he's always
Uh-huh.
talking shit, and you don't get into political stuff with him because that's silly,
Oh God.
and then he would always get just thrown out, even though he come back in because he would forget what he did that night.
Oh, he can't come back in no
He
more.
yeah, not now he's finally full blown banned, but he I don't know how the first couple minutes started with them, but then I came out to get a drink.
I do.
So how did it start? How did it start?
He walked in and said, "I fucked your mom."
No, no. So that's
Swear
funny
to God.
because I was so a couple minutes in. Then when I went up, they were going back and forth, and he was like, uh, he said, oh, and he said, your mom sucked my dick, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I fucked her. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. And that guy, the other guy's there with his buddy,
He
and I'm
probably said
like,
it 20 times. Seriously.
yeah, yeah. He did say it a bunch of times from my recollection when I was up there. So then I didn't go to the back, and my team is playing pool, and then I'm still stuck in front because I'm like, okay, like he's an acquaintance enough that I don't I don't want to see him get choked out and die. Okay, whatever at that point. And I didn't know the other two, so at that point I had no clue who he was even talking about. It took like a little while for then people to say, "Oh, that's this person's son," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So he's talking about her and said that
Mm-hmm.
she sucked his dick. I'm like, "Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god!" And then he was talking to his friend, whispering to him, and then the other guy goes outside, and then I go outside. I'm telling him like, "Yo, you need to relax, man. These young kids. You don't know what's gonna happen with you. Oh, I don't care. Fuck them, and I'll fight them." And what I'm like, nah, you're not in no shape to fight anybody. You're falling all over the place, man. They're gonna smack you. You're gonna die.
Well,
I'm
for
like,
somebody
plus,
that doesn't know how to fight, he sure does get in a lot of fights. You know what I mean? Like he
so
doesn't
that
know
was
how to fight.
yes, that's actually what he said too. He said, "I don't care. I've been knocked down by better guys and bigger guys and more people anyway. I get knocked down all the time." That was one thing he said. I'm like, so why don't you just shut the fuck up then? What? Shut
Right?
up. And
Right?
he just kept egging it on. And then he went outside for like the second time. And then the guys are like, "Yo, that's your friend, man?" And I was like, "Well, he's an acquaintance, like I see him here, just like some of the other guys. Like there's certain people out there I consider like real friends. I wasn't he's not my real friend. I know him. He knows some of my family members on a different basis, and that was kind of where our, you know, friendship was. So then he opens the door and starts yelling at me. "That's fucked up, man." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I thought we were friends." I'm like, "Bro, we're good. We're cool. What are you talking about?" "Bro, I smoke crack with your dad, man.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, oh, that's supposed to make me be pumped up about us being like friends in your mind because you smoke crack with my dad? Like, what the fuck are we talking about now? Where in your mind is that gonna make me like you at this point?
Yeah,
You know?
right.
So then the two kids, after I'm telling them that we're acquaintances and whatever, then I think they think I'm lying to them.
Right. Well,
So
yeah, because
I
he's
go,
screaming out. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So then I go outside. I follow him outside now because he's already running outside and like all pissed off because we're supposed to be best friends because he smoked crack with my dad now, apparently. So he's getting in his car and he no shape to drive. He can't even fucking walk. So
No.
his door's half open and he's, you know, getting emotional with me and I'm taking the keys from him, telling him like, no, oh, don't fucking drive, man.
Let
We
me
got to
also
figure something
say,
out. But
I didn't serve him those beers that got him like that. Just so everybody
yeah,
knows that.
yeah, yeah. He's usually always like that before he comes in. So
I know.
and that's why shit gets started all crazy too. Because one of the bartenders, no matter who's there, would be like, "Man, you're already fucked. I'm not giving you anything else. Like you're fucked up." And then it starts a whole big thing, and then he gets thrown
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm not looking behind me because I'm more worried about him driving off and crashing into everything in the parking lot, and then killing himself, running into a tree out there. And I'm like, all right, let's just figure it out. Get him to not drive, and then we'll figure out these other kids situation, him getting sucked off by their mom. I don't know. So his door's half open, his legs in it. My arms in the window, I'm reaching, and then all of a sudden he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, so you brought these two pussies out here to beat me up now?" And I look behind me and this kid is reaching over my shoulder, and I'm thinking, now like they're about to fight both of us. And I was never thinking I was gonna be in the middle of like in the chance
Right.
where I was gonna get hit. You know, I was gonna get hit. I'm
Right.
like, all right, well, he's gonna hit him, and then I'll break it up or whatever, and we'll be all right. But it wasn't even the son that was gonna hit him. It was the son's
The
friend
other one.
who was
Yeah.
reaching on my shoulder. And then once I turned around, like, and I put my hand on his hand, like, yo, whoa, yo, relax. What are you doing, man? He's running his mouth, whatever. I'm getting taken care of. But now I'm looking at him like, okay, now I gotta watch my back because this dude might try to fight me because now he thinks we're best friends because he smoked crack with my dad, so we're tight, we're cool now. So yeah. So when I turned around and pushed the dude's hand, and then the other dude started running his mouth, he closed the door and he started the car and took off. And I was like, oh God, he's done. He's done. I just thought he was gonna definitely crash into something that night. Which apparently he didn't, or if he did, he was okay because we seen him
Yeah.
again after that.
Yeah.
And the other kids still thought like me and him were tight or whatever, and that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the
At
time
least
that got him kicked out either. That,
no.
that wasn't even the time that got him kicked out. And he's been in so many fights there. And I was there for a pool one night. I wasn't even bartending. Somebody else was. And her boyfriend came in and he got in a fight with her boyfriend. And they were outside. And I was outside in between them, like trying to stop them from fighting. I was standing right in between them. I'm like, no, you guys are not fighting. You're not doing this. You're not doing it. But it's just you know how it is with him. He doesn't stop.
Yeah.
He doesn't
No.
stop. He doesn't care if he's on the ground bleeding. He will still run his mouth.
He's not gonna say shit if he can talk.
I know.
Only way to win is to bring duct tape and just tape over his mouth.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's it. Game over.
That's a
I
great
did
idea.
hear at one point he told the guy, "Go ahead, punch me in the face. I'm gonna fall down anyway because
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing or how to fight, and you're gonna beat
Yeah.
me up, but it's okay. Suck my dick or something." And the guy punched him and he laid him out on the ground and he was done for a little while. And that was like the one story I heard. And then somebody was telling me, yeah, he just did that 3 days ago too to somebody else. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing? How do you not realize when you wake up with your eye half shut that is probably something you should just stay away from is running your mouth?
He needs to find a fight club or some shit.
Why? It wouldn't last but 2 seconds, apparently.
Well, he could let people beat him up. Apparently, he likes it.
They wouldn't get
I
to
don't know.
get any anger out though. They'd hit him once and it'd be done. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do have to say that her son conducted himself well because, I know if it was my son and somebody was talking like that about me, I don't think that it would have went so good.
yeah,
Know what I mean?
that's yeah. It's most sons. I mean, listen, you could say random crazy shit to me on a regular basis, and it's whatever, But then you talk about my wife or my kids or my mom, close family. It's gonna be a problem. Like, don't do that, especially if they're not there to defend themselves neither to whatever you're saying. You
Right.
know, if I bring it up and we're joking about it or something, that could be something different. But if you just come out your mouth with some, hey, your mom sucked my dick, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Weirdos and fights, because that's what it was about. Weirdos and
Weirdos and
fights.
fights. Alrighty.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have Eddie on again, I'm sure, because you know what? Something's gonna happen.
yeah, it's bound
Something's
to.
gonna happen that we're gonna have to talk about.
And
That's for
lately,
sure.
with all the craziness, it just seems inevitable that it's gonna happen soon.
Well, last Friday was the full moon, so I think we have
Ah,
another month until it gets weird again.
I hope so. Could use a break from the crazy stuff at times.
I don't know. I think we
Usually it's
should
me being crazy anyway, but you
nah,
know,
not even close. You can't compare. You cannot compare yourself to all these weirdos.
no, no. That's what I said. I get crazy. I don't get weird. I get crazy.
Yeah,
These guys are on another level lately, though. I really don't know what it is.
exactly. I wonder if it's happening in other bars. Like other bartenders are getting weirdos and have crazy stories because, nobody wants to send me in stories to read online anymore. So, I mean, I do still have the haunted bar stories that I'm going to do the rest of. We had to stop that episode short because Michael had to go. Yeah, we started it. We were like 40 minutes in or something, and he's like, "Gotta go."
Yeah, yeah. I listened to that one.
I was like, "Okay, we're cutting it short now." So I still have all the rest of the haunted bar stories to do another episode with that. I'm not sure if Michael's gonna come on again, so we'll see. He had messaged me a couple days ago and said he had a story for me, so hopefully he'll come on and tell it. We'll see.
So tell him when he talks, say it with his chest, and he won't sound like Marge Simpson.
Okay. Did you hear that, Michael? Say it with his chest so he won't sound like Marge
That's it.
Simpson. Are you saying
That's
he's
it.
talking out of his nose?
Oh yeah, he's a nose talker, definitely.
Okay. So if anybody out there wants to tell us some stories or you want to come on and tell your own story, hit me up on the Gmail, talesofasmalltownbartender@gmail.com, or you can send me a Facebook message, or you can message on our website, www.talesofasmalltownbartender.com. And we would love to have you guys come on here and talk. I want to hear some stories. I know you guys can top us. I know you can.
Got to be other stuff out there as weird and weirder.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I know it's small town bars, but I mean, if you're in a big town or a city or whatever, you can message us with that too. So that's it for tonight. And thanks for listening, guys. And we'll be chatting at you next time.
Definitely.
Good night, guys. You can contact us in many ways. Email at talesofasmalltownbartender@gmail.com. Our website at www.talesofasmalltownbartender.com. Facebook Facebook.com/Tales of a Small Town Bartender. Instagram, Tales of a Small Town Bartender. TikTok, Tales of a Bartender. Twitter, @bartender_tales. And on our Patreon page, patreon.com/Tales of a Small Town Bartender.